Om Shanti, and a warm welcome to all of you and to our very special guests. We're very honored today, we're very privileged today. I'm sure they're privileged too to have you here listening to them. But we have Atambai, who knew Mama and Baba. And we have Gopi, who has had close experience with Dadi Janki. And Suman Ben, who has very close experience with Dadi Prakashmani. And Per, who has experience with all kinds of souls, and the West. So I kind of want to sort of set a scene in that in the days of Atambai, there was a lot of silence. And there wasn't a lot of exposure to things that could be assimilated. Plus, the souls who were with Mama and Baba were young. Many of them were very young. And they didn't have that impact of society, of politics, and economics. The impact on their lives was Gyan and yoga. So it was a very different time in a way. And now the souls who are coming into Gyan and those souls who came later are exposed to a huge amount that can be assimilated because we're now in a technical revolution, which has sped things up so enormously and made things now. And I was just remembering that I've got this old letter that was written. I'm from Zimbabwe, and this letter that was written when they were setting up the colony, and the letter took 3 weeks to come, and it was a business letter, and they were establishing a business. But that would have taken some time, and these days it's now. So almost a correlation in that we have to have things happen now. And I just see it in a way as a stream of consciousness. In your day, Atambai, Baba was sort of at the source. And the stream of consciousness started and was joined by other streams. And we all know that those streams start in a mountainous area, in a high elevated space. And very soon they're rushing, and they rush over every obstacle. They're deterred by nothing. And they're passing through clean sort of greenery and clean atmosphere, which at the beginning of the Yagya, it was this very clean atmosphere. And now it's almost as if in the great Ganga, the flow of the Ganga, we're in this river of consciousness, and we've got towns on either side and masses of stuff coming into this as well. It's almost as if we have to stay in that mainstream of consciousness, otherwise we're going to get caught in the eddies and sort of pushed back up. So with this kind of perspective of the beginning of the yagya and the original effort and the original love that was there, and now in this more extreme condition, but in this very strong flow of higher consciousness, how do we see things, and how are we experiencing things? What have you experienced? Very much like to encourage you to share your inspirations, your experiences in the way of stories. I know Dadi will often be giving a deep point of Gyan and then break into a story, but that story has deep significance. So, Atambai, can we start with you? Would you like to give a little introduction of yourself and share what your original effort and original love was, and how original effort, Purushottam, and original Prem.
Om Shanti. I was introduced to this knowledge in 1957 at the age of 20 years. And when I was given first lesson, you are a soul and not body. So I was discussing with a brother who was giving knowledge to me for days together. He was saying, you are a soul. I was saying, no. Prove it, whether I am a soul or body. Again and again for a few days I was discussing this thing. Once he said, please believe, have faith that you are a soul. From inside I was thinking that I am a soul because in Hinduism they believe in soul and all these things. And so I said, okay, today I believe, I have faith that I am a soul. From that very moment, everything was changed. I was studying in engineering college. I think I was a first year student, having no difficulties, nothing. Everything is with us. But this lesson that you are a soul, and I believed it. I said, yes, I am a soul. From that very moment, everything was changing. Silence, bodilessness, going to bazaar and seeing she is a soul, he is a soul, seeing in the forehead. I was feeling as if Baba was pulling. During those days, very few BKs, and Baba was free, and he was pulling himself. And I was totally, my all activities, lifestyle was changed within 2-3 days. And I asked, wow, it is very, very beautiful thing, very, this knowledge is very nice. I told him, give me what other points you have got. God is Shiva, he is in about Paramdham. And all these questions, all these things he was telling me, I was believing, no question, nothing of that. World is cyclic, the history is not linear, I believe. Because in childhood, at the age of 10, I have heard all these scriptures I have heard from my Lokik father. So what he was speaking, I was believing it. Within 2-3 days, I was hearing Murli from him, and no question, nothing of that. So much change came. That person even could not believe that so much change can come. I was always silent, surveying, going to bazaar, not going to common room. Everything was totally changed. So he was also wonderstruck. I was also seeing what is happening to me. All classmates, class fellows, saying that what you have become, either you have become a saint or you have become a beast. Because only these two live in jungle or in silence. No, I am becoming a saint. So all the companies of our friends, everything left, and I was enjoying this soul consciousness and God consciousness. You may say, I was experiencing yoga, everything. So I said, who has given this knowledge to you? I told that person, let me know such a beautiful knowledge. There are so many points up there. Who is the God of Gita? Ganji Disrat Patat Pauni. I was much attracted by the knowledge only, not other things. No daris, no anything, no tolis, nothing. I was attracted by this knowledge completely. I was bewitched. I hold all my points, all my knots were opened. I was totally happy, satisfied, contented. So I asked him, who has given this knowledge to you? Let me know. There was no pictures, nothing, no Brahma. During those days, nothing was there. But he said, this is Brahma Baba, this is Mateshwari, and knowledge is being from through this Brahma Baba. So I went within few days to meet Baba in Delhi. And when I met first, I saw Brahma Baba in the class, and seeing his towering personality, shining face, bewitching eyes, and everything, I was seeing that I was much attracted. And from that moment, I said, I have faith that he is my real father. From that moment, when I met Baba, I went in his lap. I went in the lap of Mama. Baba said, on the very first Vardhan, blessing Baba gave, I was studying in engineering college. Baba said, the study of this engineering college will be of no use to you. This was first version of Brahma Baba towards me. Because within a week, I was having totally detachment from the studies, from my all other things. So I was a vairagya. So Baba said this thing, it will be of no use to you. So why I should study? Then why I should go on waste 4 or 5 years? Destruction is very near. It is so, why I should study? So I was studying, I was going, after meeting Baba, I went back and I wrote a letter to Baba in English. Should I tell? In English, and Baba replied me in English. I wrote to Baba, Baba, I don't want to construct building and design buildings, but I want to run, I want to design, I want to be a part of the huge edifice which you are erecting of Golden Age. Then I wrote, I don't want to design highways and roads because I was studying in civil engineering, but I want to run on the highway going to Paramdham and going to then Golden Age. Then I said, I don't want to design machineries, but I want to be a part and parcel of a king and queen machinery which you have invented. So Baba wrote me in English. Baba said, be patient, give this knowledge to your co-engineers and to your parents. This was second direction Baba wrote to me, and as Baba said, I may not have fulfilled his desire that we should remain in 8 hours for a day in yoga or other things. But what Baba wrote to me, I was doing that thing. So I gave this knowledge to my parents, to co-engineers. We were doing service, opening centers, and so many service we were doing. And I was totally, I have no interest in study, totally disinterest. But Baba said, you have to study, you go on studying. So I used to miss classes. I was going after 7 days, for 15 days. There were, during those days, 2 times bhog on Thursday and Sunday. We were attending that. So I was not interested in that. But even that, I passed after 4 years. I passed engineering, I got, but I never went to take the degree, having that coat and nothing else. And after passing, during this period, my whole of the Lokik family and so many Lokik students were with us. We have the center where we were studying, and whole of my Lokik mother, father, 3 brothers, my Lokik sister, all were in this knowledge. As Baba said, give this knowledge to that. So we were very happy, and after study, of completing, I came to Baba with my Lokik father and mother, and they said, you give your whole life to this cause, and from that 1961 or 2, I have been in this godly service as per the direction of Baba and Mama. This is my short.
Thank you.
Anything else? So many instances, so many history, so many Babas with interaction, so many there are there, I tell you.
And how did you sustain, once Mama and Baba had left the body, how did you sustain that effort and that love?
Because I told you that seeing Baba and Mama, I was thinking they are my Lokik, as Lokik mother and father. And we were meeting Baba and Mama again and again. And we were always busy in some doing service. During those days, you hear the Murlis, in Murlis always do this service, do this service, do this service. Baba is stressing again and again in service. We were busy in service and meeting Baba and Mama, taking directions. We have to open a center. During those days, it was a difficult task to open a center. As now, in foreign also, some brother is going to Australia, other is going to Brazil. Similarly, we were also doing, during those days, going to some other city, Nabha, some going to Kurukshetra, some going to this. We were also some going to Jalandhar, some going to Dehradun. Then our brother Om Prakash went to Jabalpur to open centers during those days. We were doing this thing. And we were taking all directions from Mama, not from Baba. Baba was big and Mama was just like, we were meeting again and again, Mama, taking directions, doing this, which sister will be appointed where. All these things, we were small, 20 years old child, young man, we were all doing as if we are doing such things and getting sustenance and doing all this service. And whole Lokik, my family came to this knowledge. I tell you one instance. There was little, not doubt, but I was silent about that Sakshatkar, what you call? Visions. I was silent because our one sister, one Dadi, Dhyani Dadi used to come to our center, Patiala. She will sit and have like this, will be a bhog and give us some flower, some fruit this way. I was saying it was okay, but I was not from the heart. I was little, I am not going in this, not having viands. So once I went to my Lokik village to give this knowledge to my Lokik father and mother. My mother was very easily in this knowledge. My father said, no, if I have some viand, then I will believe. He was giving lectures on this religious, speaking these scriptures, that Bhagavad Puran, Ramayana, all these to other people also, going at night to the other mahalla and giving this. But he was saying, knowledge is okay. I have given him written in Urdu, this commentary, I am soul, all this commentary I have given. He was repeating again and again. But he was saying, I will believe, I will faith, then, only then, if I have some viands. So once we were all sitting, my Lokik father and mother and all, in offering bhog on Thursday, he got up in between. He got up and he was catching something, this way, that way, that way. He was wandering during that crowd, other villagers were there. And I was very happy, something is happening. So I said, here is no Dadi, no center, he has not seen Baba, Mama, nothing. What is happening to him? And for some time, after some time, he sat down. He was very sad. I said, what happened to you? He said, I don't know, I went somewhere. I saw a very beautiful Sri Krishna, very small chap, very beautiful. And I was going to catch him. I used to touch him, he will go this way. Then I could not catch. Small chap, could not catch. Then, after some time, your Baba came. He was not saying my Baba came. He said, your Baba came, the Brahma Baba, and he said, when you believe, when you have faith in this knowledge, and when you observe all the principles, those principles, then Sri Krishna will come in your lap. Baba also put the condition. Afterward, he said, okay, he was observing all these some small principles which he had not. Then next Thursday, then he went in trance. He caught hold that Sri Krishna, and he was meeting him. Sri Krishna was in lap. Tears were rolling down because he has been doing bhakti for the last so many years. He was a great bhagat of his village. So Sri Krishna came in his lap. He was very happy, very contented. After that, he was in this knowledge, and whole of my Lokik family and villagers, seeing this scene, they were also much impressed, and they were also took this knowledge. So I also was impressed by that, because here is no dadis, no Baba, no. How he has gone that? I wrote to Baba that my Lokik father is gone in trance. Baba did not, I was very happy, but Baba did not give much value to this. Baba wrote back, I have been also going in trance much. He diluted this thing. So from that day, my Lokik father was a trance messenger. When he was meeting Baba and Mama and everything, and when he used to come to the Madhuban, and during the Baba used to go to other Delhi or Calcutta, Bombay, Mama was in there. Mama used to say you sit on the bhog and you offer bhog to Baba. So he was trance messenger. Anything we used to ask, he will bring the message from Shiv Baba. It was happening like this. So I was much impressed and satisfied that vision, this is also a great part in the establishment of this new world.
Thank you very much, Atambai.
Yes.
It was so wonderful to hear.
This was a wonderful experience.
Yes, absolutely. And I'd like to come back to that a little bit later. But in the meantime, I'd like to ask Suman Ben to, it was the next phase really, was the Abhyakt stage, but and Dadi Prakash Mani as the head of the institution. What were your experiences and what your inspirations, and what was your enthusiasm for the continuation of this establishment?
Om Shanti. Dadi Prakash Mani was a magnetic personality. Actually, she was a balance of being a world leader. She was a world leader, but at the same time, she knew how to interact with the children as well. So she knew how to interact with the different levels of the people. She held that spiritual energy with her whenever she used to go. Dadi Prakash Mani, when she used to come on the stage, it's like the whole energy is in the hall. It was like that. Okay, BKs, Baba's children used to feel that energy, but guests who used to come for the conferences and seminars, who used to meet Dadi for the first time, they also experienced that immense energy from Dadi. So that enormous energy God's energy she used to hold along with her. And not necessary that if she speaks to me for 5 minutes, only then I get enthusiastic, or just when she's walking in the courtyard, just a smile and say, "How are you, Suman?" And that would bring that energy, that would circulate that energy into the self, that would charge the soul. And that one smile and that one word, "How are you?" that would really bring up the energy for the whole day. And I think because that she had that unlimited love for each and everyone, she had that love, but along with that, she knew how to teach the souls, how to give the directions to the souls. Because any mistake, any problem, Dadi used to call those people, and she used to give the teachings, used to be firm, used to scold them, everything. But again, the next time, if she used to give the teachings in the morning, but in the evening, when the same person comes to her, she is so normal with them. She gives so much of love, as though nothing has happened in the morning. That type of personality Dadi held. And that's the reason all the Madhuban Nivasis used to just follow her instructions blindly. It's just because Dadi wants me to do, I'm doing it. Dadi had so much of faith in each of the Madhuban Nivasis, so much faith and so much love. And that drew the Madhuban Nivasis, that made the Madhuban Nivasis to move along. One incident I remember, the telephone exchange that's there in Panda Bhavan now, that was a transport department before. And the telephone exchange was supposed to be installed there. Some of the seniors chose that place to install telephone exchange. And it's so difficult for the transport department to move to the other place, right? They feel that this is their place. They don't want to move out of that place. They feel so much attached to that place. So that was a challenge. And now Dadi calls that person, the transport department person, and Dadi, with so much of love, tells to that person, see, this is going to happen, so we want that place, but we will give you a place outside near the transport department where it's now. So we will give you that place, so you have to vacate this place. And now he comes out of the room where Dadi was meeting, and he says, it's just because Dadi told me to do that, I'm going to do that. Not for anything else. She is my mother. Just because Dadi wants me to do that, I'm doing. So much of love each one of Madhuban Nivasis had. Just because Dadi wants us to do, they used to do. So that type of love and energy she used to have. And even when she used to meet the children, she used to become like children, and even the children would love Dadi. And the big leaders, political leaders and religious leaders, when she used to meet them, she is on that level, and they used to bow down to Dadi as mother. And once when there was a religious conference going on in Panda Bhavan, because not many religious leaders used to come at that time. Nowadays, they are very familiar with the Brahma Kumaris. But then, once one Mahamandaleshwar came in that religious conference, and he wanted to check the purity level of the Brahma Kumaris, of the BKs, because we talk of purity, we talk of celibacy, we talk of all these things. So he had so much of doubt about that. Oh, these Brahma Kumaris speak of celibacy, but do they really practice it? He had that doubt in the mind. So at night, at 11 o'clock, he went around the campus near all the rooms, He went around the campus at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, he was taking a walk near all the rooms, and to really see whether they're practicing what the Brahma Kumaris are preaching. So then later on, when he was talking on the stage, he said that this is a place where there's a power of purity. I had come here with to test whether they really practice what they preach, but I see here the enormous energy of purity, So it's obviously it's Baba's power, but whatever Baba's teachings, the children are practicing, that energy is seen, but leader also counts, right? So the Dadi's personality really attracted each and everyone. And she knew how to touch the hearts. She knew how to, win over the hearts of other people. And that's what I feel.
And we need to do the same.
Yes. And that is very much necessary, because on the knowledge level, on an intellectual level, to connect, it's much more easy. But to connect on a level of the heart, it's very much important to make others feel that this is their home.
Yeah, and I think Dadi did that by always asking, "Are you happy?" She was
It's
very
not
much
just the
concerned.
words, but the feeling, the vibrations that she used to radiate. It's not just the words, it's the vibrations.
And if I think about Dadi, the one thing, and I remember a few things. One, that she always made you feel equal. Secondly, she gave drishti to everyone.
Yes.
And, these sort of inspirations that we have to carry into our lives, do you feel that you've been able to do that, inspired by Dadi? What are the efforts that you put in?
We are always inspired, but yeah, to some extent maybe, not might be for the level what Dadi had, but yes, I always feel that. Whenever something happens, then I feel that what would Dadi do at this situation? So I always take that inspiration from Dadi. Dadi had that loving personality, but although at the same time, we were so scared to speak to Dadi. We never. It was scared in the sense we couldn't speak something which is very below normal, or we can't just say anything anything to Dadi. Because we can't play around with Dadi, right? We can't say any lies, or just make any cook any stories or anything. So that in front of Dadi, if I think of doing something or cooking up stories, we can't. We couldn't. In front of Dadi, whatever Dadi asks, straight answer and truth comes out. That was the thing,
And that one thing that struck me about Dadi, that she always gave you that feeling of equality.
Yes.
I mean, you absolutely knew that you were nothing. You were not on her level at all. But yet, there was just this incredible feeling of being equal. It's something that we have to be able to do for others. We have to have that effort that we can bring them up and enable souls. Did you feel that from Dadi, that she really enabled souls?
Yes, very much. She uplifted the energy of the souls, because when I came to Madhuban, I just straight away came from the Laukik home. I didn't stay at the centers there. Just from after finishing my graduation, I straight away came to Madhuban. So I was not so much accustomed with the Brahmin culture, Brahmin way of working, Brahmin. But I had to go through a lot. Like initially, it was so confusing for me to cope up with the Brahmin culture and Madhuban customs and everything. There were times when my energy would go low. And Dadi knew it. And she always encouraged the youngsters. She always uplifted. And we used to go to Dadi's room to say good night every day. And Dadi wanted us Kumaris to be near to her. And that was a time when Dadi used to be very open, and Dadi used to give lots and lots of love to all of us.
So it was interesting that you said that you now had to adapt to the Brahmin culture. Because if we look at India as a whole, we see that all the practices that we established now have continued. You know, in a different form. But, you know, you can go into the village, but, you know, you'll find a vehicle stopped by the little temple, and he's taken time for a little bit of puja. A shopkeeper will go into a shop. He will perform the puja before he will do any business at all. So, you know, and we know that, you know, the Indian culture, many would get up early for prayers and puja, and the children would get some kind of education in the morning from the grandparents. There would be flowers picked and put at the doorways. So, and this is something that didn't happen in the West. You know, we were cultureless in a way. So it almost seemed that it would have been easier for a Bharadvasi to adopt the Brahman culture than it would be for a Westerner. And Gopi Ben, you've had a lot of experience in the West with Dadi Janki, who was also from Bharat. What was your experience with this? If you think in terms of the Brahman culture, because we all actually have to become part of this Brahman culture and sustain this Brahman culture through our efforts and our love.
You know what struck me from Atambai's story, and then what Suman Ben was sharing, was the whole thing about the heart needs a destination and the mind needs a destination. And in the early days, Mama, Baba very much were the pillars that allowed the heart to be connected. It's like Atambai said, they replaced Mum and Dad. And then the visions was important to keep the mind engaged towards the future and the creation of something new. And then Dadiji's leadership, which was really for me a balance of love and law, but really foundationally nurturing and very, very loving. And although I was born from Dadi Prakashmani, I was sustained by Dadi Janki. And, you know, Dadi Prakashmani was always kind of at the end of the road saying, come to me. You know how your parent stands and says, when the child's learning how to walk and says, come to me. Then Dadi Janki was the person that would be standing by my side, holding my hand and walking. And I think that with Dadi's, my observation and my experience is very much as we moved into the West, the intellect was important. Because there's a much more sense of individualism and independence in the nature and the way that people think naturally in the West. Which is different because in the East there is a greater level of codependency in families, the family unit is much stronger, and so there's more bhavna, the heart, the mind are more nourished. And I think Dadi Janki picked up on this very, very much. And so her intellect was able to engage the intellect of souls in the West, which was very necessary. It was just a different entry point into the mind and the heart, if you know what I mean. I always say there are two entry points for people when they come to Baba. You know, one is the road of truth. I want to know what is knowledge, what is right, like Atambai was saying earlier. And the other is they just fall in love with someone, right? You fall in love with Mama, Baba, and you're attracted. So I think for the West, it was this kind of entry point. And the other day I was reflecting on Dadi Janki's personality. And one of the things that I think has allowed Dadi Janki to flourish, I mean, I'm seeing her even grow in the Western context and the developments of the West, is an inner practice that she's always held to for a long, long period of time. And that is to keep the intellect bodiless. I think this personal practice of Dadi's, of becoming bodiless again and again and again, has allowed her to stay very, very fluid. Because what she could have done when she came to the West was become entrenched with tradition. You know, the traditions from Bharat, the way things were done. But she's been able to remain so open to allow so much newness to flourish in the West, allow differences of opinion to exist at the same time. And a lot of that has to do with her positioning. And I think this is a very important lesson for us because, you know, when the original effort is the same. I am a soul, I belong to Baba. That hasn't changed. And that original effort, when it's sustained, keeps the soul very, very free inside and very open to the developments of matter outside. Someone comes with a new idea of how to do something. Okay, let's listen. Let's see where that takes us, right? Because inside, I have a position. And Daddy stayed very, very true to this position. Partly through her practice of bodilessness, her practice of really churning Baba's Murli. You know, this is one of the things of why Baba loves her so much. She has made every direction of Baba's practical in Baba's Murli. And Daddy keeps the perspective of how Baba sees things. She has a command on how Baba sees things. And I think this kind of approach and position has helped her, if you know what I mean, in handling the variety that you get abroad and the incredible amount of diversity and cultures and needs and requirements of souls. And she has an incredible adjustment capability. She was the first person to use a BlackBerry. Sister Jayanti couldn't even use a mobile phone, and she was on a BlackBerry checking her emails. You know, so her ability to adapt to circumstances was very much because of her position. But she had a relationship with everything of royalty. You wouldn't see her after Amrit Vela getting out of bed to check her BlackBerry, which is what 10 million people do now today. You know, their relationship with matter takes priority over their relationship with Baba. And I think that's where the difficulty comes. Even in those days in Bharat, the partition, it's not that the context was any different. There were struggles. There were political struggles. There was economic hardship. Everything was there in Bharat at that time. But the difference is that the presence of Mama, Baba, the energy of Bhavna, kept souls focused, attentive on what was important. And right now, within society today, as we've allowed technology and matter to take over, in one sense, suddenly this relationship and our attention to keeping the relationship alive with Mama and Baba has taken a secondary, if you know, position.
And what are we going to do about that?
Well,
because Baba said don't use, in a Muli a few days ago, he said don't use your own intellect. And so this had struck me. And so what you're saying now, how Daddy uses Baba's intellect.
Absolutely.
And
this has been one of the aspects in the West where people, because of a sense of individualism, the tendency to you think first for yourself rather than using Baba's intellect. And I think a deep, deep practice that I've taken away from Daddy is suspend your intellect. Even if you know how to do something, don't attack it with your intellect. Leave it. Stop, position yourself under Baba's canopy, and then apply yourself. Right? That's the order. But in the West, the sense of individualism is so, so strong that I have to think about it first. Right? And then the ego takes over, you get entrenched in a position, and what Baba wants takes a secondary seat.
Yeah, so we really have to drop that sense of I'm responsible and acknowledge that Baba is responsible.
I mean, I wonder if Atambai could share something about this, because, you know, you liked knowledge a lot. And I'm just saying about this aspect, Shona's saying that we have to drop. हमको ये जो बुद्धि ज़्यादा चलाने की जो आदत होती है, the aspect of using the intellect too much, It's a tendency in the West. And Shona's saying it brings this feeling of I am responsible. So then Baba takes a back seat. So I want to know from you, what was your experience in changing this for yourself?
My experience is that I try that always in my mind I will say Baba and Baba and Baba. Always try to remember that. And in speech, I will try that. I will try to give this knowledge, Baba's knowledge. And in action, Baba is getting this work done. I am not doing. It is Baba's work and he is getting done himself. I tell you, there is a printing press in Gyanam, in Shantivan. You might have seen, I think. You heard about that. We were in Delhi and because it was the institution was spreading and the students were becoming more and more numbers, more centers, and they require more literature also. We had very small printing press, so we wanted that we should shift to a bigger place in Delhi, and we were invited, we were given that you can come to this Shantivan. And you can establish that press here, and with Dadi's any vision, I tell you, Dadi's what you might call plan. She knew that what is going to happen. Before Baba came in 1996 came in 1996 in Shantivan. Before 4-5 years before, this Om Shanti printing press was established in Shantivan. This was Dadi's plan. Because without that planning, it was very, very difficult to print so much literature, so much this Murlis, so many things. It was very difficult. So when we were in Delhi, those people were saying that within 1 or 2 years you will be coming back. It's very difficult to print, have a printing press in that village. But I tell you, we have faith in Dadis and Baba. Nothing happened. For the last 25 years, the work is going on without any hindrance, without any stoppage. Everything is going on well. We always say it is Baba's work, and those people also believe you are not getting this thing running, but it is your Baba that is doing this thing. So we always see 2 things, that it is, if we remember drama and if you remember Baba, nothing, no hindrance, no difficulty comes. I say it is small, but it is going on, but Baba is doing everything. Anything we do, it is Baba's work, it will be done. We always keep Baba before, then we do the work. So I think even Dadi Janki says, ho jayega, everything will be done. Baba has given her a blessing that yes, ho jayega. Similarly, even Dadi Prakash Mani used to say like this. I have got so many experiences with Prakash Mani also, and so many experiences with Dadi Janki also, because Dadi Janki was our first teacher who came to Patiala, and first she gave us Brahma Bhojan. She prepared with her own hand the meals and she gave us to us. So similarly, all these Dadis and they have so faith in drama and Baba, nothing can shake them. And we also following them. We are not doing anything. Baba is doing according to going drama, nothing else.
So,
this is my faith.
Yeah. So
She was saying, Dadi is so full of determination, always determined. Once once this thing is decided, our Baba has said, and she will get that thing completed. Once we were sitting in that, we were standing in that diamond hall, and it was going on, it was being constructed, and so much work was left, and 31st December was nearing, and I said, Dadi, is it possible to get it completed up to 31st December? That's the silence. It will be, I tell you, it will be completed, and Baba will come on 31st December 1957, 97, I think, or 96. 97. And it happened. Within few months, 5-6 months, the whole hall was completed. What is this? Baba's grace and Dadi's determination, it happened. All the Dadis always keep Baba before. He will do it, I tell you. Similarly, Dadi Prakash Mani, similarly Dadi Janki, all are gems, and they have been doing. We always go, even now, meet them, and this is going on.
Om Shanti. And Pierre, we haven't heard from you yet. You have had a close association with many, you have said. And
I've been around them. I've listened and interacted.
So, Gopi Ben brought up the independence that is experienced in the West, that Dadi so capably adjusted to. But we've been exposed to so much in the West. You know, the marketing, it's just been an endless sort of deluge of information. And Baba speaks about our adopted form, this adopted image that we have of ourselves, so far from our beings of light. And we believe so much of this assimilated stuff. Have we not in the past?
Yeah,
we have to break
that,
don't we?
I get your point,
yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, to go into that deep experience of actually being light and the effect of light, the energy of light, that it was experienced through Brahma, Baba, and Mama.
We have to be bhagats to be good yogis. We have to go through the phase of bhakti, even in Gyan. We have to finish our bhakti in a way. We have to eventually position ourselves to the knowledge, to the implications. I started studying Morley 3 times a day just 5 years ago. Otherwise, I knew Morley. I knew it. I could recite, even if I've been in Gyan, but many years. I left for a few years, came back. Within a day, I could answer the question. I could tell exactly what the point was. The knowledge is beautiful, and it's a reflection of Baba. It's all we have, but it's also for me. So then if I take it up, then I can heal the deep wounds inside, or I can feel belonging, because our parents were dysfunctional. Our parents were empty. They were nice people. They had special qualities too. We inherit them, but no one is perfect in this world. So Baba and Mama created an ideal family. I really get a sense of seeing those pictures, the old photos of Baba and Mama, that they just really created an ideal spiritual environment. And Brahma Baba just knew he loved purity, he loved people, he loved humanity, and Shiv Baba kept pulling him along through the 40s and 50s. The knowledge was being made clear. So he was a great Bhagat. And he went from that to the prototype, the first, Brahma. For me, it was coming to India, coming to a place that was real, you're talking about I never felt comfortable in the West. I don't think any of us really felt comfortable for me, materialism was an issue, but just the karma, the anger, the level of resentment, the theft, America, it's a lot of cruelty, a lot of arrogance, a lot of total arrogance, religious, social, racial, just to take over a whole. And this is how the end. I was born when there were about maybe 2.5 billion people on the planet, right? Now there's over 5, 6, maybe. Anyway, it's doubled. It's doubled. The culpritry is doubled. A year after you came in Yan, I was born, 1958. So when I came to the Brahma Kumaris, had already given up a lot of habits that were associated with the 60s, in the lifestyle, people living and whatever. So I was a bhagat. And coming into the center, sisters in white sari, totally spiritual, giving spiritual knowledge, giving drishti, talking about India. And my guru didn't talk, he was from India. He was, I have come for you. You don't need to go to India. You've got me, and his people believe that, He was famous. My own people I idolized, the rock stars, when they got spiritual, they had this guy as a guru, right? So I thought, this is what I was ready to quit smoking marijuana, whatever, wear white clothes. I was already wearing white clothes when I went to the center, And so, but I was still a bhagat. And I remember getting off the plane and at 2 a.m. in Bombay and now this is where the deities lived. This is where I live. This is my original home, That feeling, that bhavana, everyone wants to belong, right? We want to belong. And so this is what Baba gives us. He takes us from shells and makes us, worthy, worship-worthy, and at least very good bhagats. Even the great bhagats are worshipped by the bhagats, Yes. I asked Dadi Janki once. I went to Dadi Janki and I came in front of her and, she looked at me, she said, oh, and, I was feeling bad. She said, oh, so you went on a little holiday, huh? And it made it light, but at the same time, and I said, Dadi, why am I here? I was maybe 25-year-old kid. Young guy, but and she looked at me. She said, "Oh, I didn't get your question. Why? Why am I here? We compare. Who am I? It's such a big world, such a big drama, and where do we fit in?" And she said, "You are a great, great bhagat." But that was a compliment to me. If I can sing a song and get through the first lines and the nervousness and put some soul into it, that's a great achievement, because I've always been a music person, music's been really close to me. And if I talk, more than a second, Daddy will shut up, just sing, please. You got the mic, just sing, don't talk. So it's an honor. I want to make a plug for these classes. This is something, not just Morley, but these classes are recorded. So some of you buy them, right? You take them back to your center. I encourage you. Anybody, when you're driving, you put one of these CDs of classes like this, of Sister Denise, Brother Anthony, you can get Baba's Morley. You get an MP3 with 5 hours worth of classes. So when you're driving, and you're at home, you can listen to this and you're transported to Madhuban. So that's also very helpful. But 3 times a day, reading Morley, this is my right, Nobody understands Morley. We do. So why don't we take it in, not just in the morning, okay, that point's for this one. It's not, we in the class, we go, this point is for that person. They should hear this point, when this one should hear this. No, but they're for me.
Okay, there's a point from the
Did I answer the question?
The more love you have, the more they will oppose you. So, people like you to conform. And that, Denise referred to this, to conventional morality. And that's kind of parmat, isn't it? When we're listening to the opinions of others and we're allowing them to influence us. So say, for example, we have a family, but because we know that they're going to oppose us if we have so much love for Baba, we tend to be flexible and not sustain our originality, maybe in their company. when that originality starts to really develop, that love starts to really develop, then we see there's opposition.
Well,
So,
I mean, I like to. I don't think it can be. It is necessarily that bad either. I mean, in our personal, with our own lokics, they know if you're really happy, and they're happy for you. At least mine. They want to see me more successful. More if I'm giving love, or if I'm at least support subtly, or even just sakash. I'll hear from them, and they'll say, "Hey, I'm a soul." You know, they'll show me a picture of their niece, or my niece, or with a point of light. Here's a blessing card. And not that I need to go out and serve them, but if you're serving yourself well, it does. Your lokics will benefit. But generally, yes. As you do rise, as you do, you become more visible, and so people are threatened by.
yeah, because it's
your change.
99%, 99.9% who want you to conform to feel comfortable.
You know, there's an expression in Hindi, it's called lok laj, which is the opinion of society. And I remember Daddy Janki sharing one time that the reason, somebody had asked her the question, Daddy, where do you get your strength from? And she said, because very early on, we broke lok laj. We broke this attachment to the opinion of society. Now, in that sentence from the Murli, that the more loving you become, the more opposition you will face, there's a little hidden sentence in between, is that attachments get broken the more loving you become. People don't know what love looks like without attachment. And so they get scared. Just last week on a retreat in Oxford, there was a sister who'd come from a country, I think Turkey, and her Lokic sister had come with her on the retreat. And in a little group session, her Lokic sister piped up and said, yes, I heard the Murli was all about attachment, but I don't want to lose her. That's why I've come here. I don't want to lose her, and I feel we're losing her. You know, so there's this fear of deep loss and a breakdown of attachment, which you have to face, is what produces some very strange behaviors, you know, in relationships. But it's something that just has to be tolerated. In many ways, you know, with the love from Baba and taking Baba's love and giving it to them. You know, there was, Dr. Nirmala had shared something very nice upstairs. I'd interviewed her on purity in relationships. And towards the end of the interview, a sister came out of the audience and said, you know, Didi, my husband doesn't want a sister, he wants a wife. So what do I do? Right? So he's getting scared that he's going to lose me. So what do I do? And Didi says, look, if you have to share love, you share Baba's love. But what would Baba's drishti be? That this is Baba's child. So that you're always sharing love from the aspect of being Baba's child. So you have permission, when necessary, only to hold his hand or to give him a hug, but with the consciousness that this is a child, not my husband. And it was such a lovely answer, you know. The sister was so happy after that, because you need to be a little bit yukt as these strands get broken. Yeah.
A little bit more from you, but you had some inspirations from Didi Mohini. Can you share anything about that? Or?
I was lucky. I took the course in. I took the course in California in '79, and then started Morley, but then stayed with my grandparents in Manhattan for 2 months. So I would take a train from Manhattan over to Queens, and there was a one-bedroom apartment there, like San Francisco, one small place. But this one didn't just have two sisters. It had Sister Mohini, who was offering Bhog on Thursdays. So I went to Madhuban late in '79 with a group from California, because that's where I was going to college. But for that summer, I had lived in Manhattan and took some sustenance from being just in the company of the souls. And I still remember one Bhog message. Baba said, when you come here, there's me and another sister who were coming to class in the morning at the time. He said, you don't you remain introspective. You don't give drishti to the world. You don't look at people on the subway and give them drishti. You know, you come to the center. The first person you see should be the sister or Baba. And it was very practical advice. And then after your Murli and after your meditation, then you can go give drishti to the world. So it's simple things like that. But so I came to Madhuban with having the experience of 2 centers, and that was nice. And then as soon as we came back, the California group, we got a duplex. It was just a small apartment where the sisters were living, and they got a duplex and made a Pandav Bhavan in one of these apartments, and then the center there. And there were some families too in the neighborhood. So, and Didi is the soul we haven't talked. Didi was the counterpart to Dadi Prakash Mani, and she was a mother when she came in Gyan. She was a little older than the Kumaris who came in under Baba's canopy. She was more of a contemporary, like Dadi Janki, a little older maybe. But Didi was someone who gave me my first ring in Pandav Bhavan, and she held my hand. Was it very? And she held my hand and she said, "Pakka Brahmin, Pakka Brahmin," and then she held it really strong and she said, "Pakka." And it was quite sweet experience. Very, because,
An inspiration for everyone, I'm sure. Pakka Brahman.
Right. And then Dadi Prakash Mani gave me my gold ring. And she would be with you. She noticed some quality that I had that she had too, in abundance. And she was like, shaking my hand, she was like, doing the entertainer thing. She had this way of making everybody laugh at once, and she had an entertaining and a very lively nature, and so it's just priceless experiences with these souls. So yeah, over the past 5 years I've been on the East Coast, and now I'm at Peace Village for a year. And Sister Mohini is someone who grew up with Baba. She came in Gyan maybe when I was born. She was about 14. So 1958 she surrendered. So very sensible, very stable soul, and who, creates. I mean, Dadi Janki will say, "So what do you think, Mohini?" She's very, very farsighted. So yeah.
Thank you. I think Atom Bai is wanting to share something, and time is sort of drawing near to the end, and if there's anything that any of you would like to add as encouragement to be a Pakka Brahman to beloved brothers and sisters, it would be appreciated.
When we walk, frictions should be there. Some friction should come. If there is no friction, someone may fall. But if we have got momentum and enthusiasm and faith, everything before that fails. When I came into this knowledge, great momentum and enthusiasm, always caring for and none, going ahead. And when I gave to this knowledge to my local family, they also, when we used to go to our relatives to give this knowledge, they did not want to hear this. And one by one relative said, "You are the people, you will be going to hell, because you, in India it is an important thing, it is a very religious thing. If we don't marry the daughter, one doesn't marry the daughter, they say he will go to hell." So my local sister Wala also in this knowledge, she was also one of the centers, he was at that center, no question of marriage. He said, you people will go to hell. Now, but we were not caring for those people, because during those days, people were abusing us. I mean, they were abusing Baba also during those days, 1950s, 60s. Now this time when we have gone and our institution has become so big and they are now very, very not so in good shape. Now they come and they bow before my local sister and they say, you come and give the lecture, give us knowledge now. So in the previously there were some hurdles, but if you have got momentum and enthusiasm and faith, nothing can check us. This is my experience.
The word faith has come up a lot, and I noticed in your initial words, you almost said belief and then you changed to faith. And so it's this that we have really to create that shift from the beliefs, you know, everything that we've assimilated, and to have this faith. And, you know, now we're seeing a different stage in the Yagya. First Shiv Baba came in Brahma Baba, and then there was Bap Dada, and now maybe there's not Bap Dada. You know, we don't know if Bap Dada is going to be there or not. But yet, there's that faith that the kingdom is going to be established. And something extraordinary, we're on the cusp of another extraordinary event. Have you any response to that?
Belief is an experience in the physical, and faith is the energy of the eternal. And beliefs will change because they're so influenced by your environment, the culture, religion, your experience of matter and the entropic process of matter can change. So when you stay stuck to beliefs, you experience difficulty in your life. And when there is the experience of eternity and the energy of the eternal soul and the supreme, then you operate from a place beyond belief. And so there's much more ease inside the soul and a kind of a quiet reassurance that good has to come and good will come. Everything is okay. Everything was okay. Everything is going to be okay. This is what faith, the energy of faith, really awakens a very powerful sense of contentment in the soul.
You might have heard that latest message from Dadi Gulzar. You've read, Baba. That Baba is always with us and he will take us to the end, to the golden age. But he is very explicit, very clear. Very clear.
So, you would like to ask a question?
No, I just want to give a surprise.
Give us a prize.
My name is Raj Kumar. I am from Vienna, Austria, and I want to give a surprise to the person in chair. Do you remember me?
Yes. I remember. From Patiala.
Yes.
Yes.
In 1963, Brother Atam and Brother Om Prakash, they brought me to the knowledge. They took me to the sisters. They say, okay, you will learn something here. I say, what? These beautiful girls will give me the knowledge. How is it possible? I have a very big guru. I was Arya Samaji, and my guru was great. Anyway, they took me there. And the thing which impressed me very much was the sister told that we always take the birth as men or women, not animals. Then I say, thank God you have saved me from 84,100,000 births. that way. Then perhaps these great brothers, Om Prakash and Atma Prakash, they are engineers, well qualified. And this brother did not go to the institute to get his degree even. He is so much dedicated to this knowledge. Once, I remember, we were in Delhi, and he was telling, oh my God, when that time will come that our president will follow us. Now the presidents are following us. Om Shanti.
Any more surprises? Anyone would like to ask a question?
So many Babas, with Baba's interaction, so many. But it is, time is short, but so many things we have been experienced with Baba, with Dadi Janki, and Dadi Prakash Mani, living for the last about 59 years, 12 years with Baba, and with Dadi Janki from the very beginning, and that since 1992 with Dadi Prakash Mani in Shantivan. So many instances, so many interactions are there, but time is short.
So, if anyone would like to add anything? Pierre? Enough talking? A little bit more?
You can get copies of all these classes. Everybody, it's only 25 rupees. No, seriously, this will you'll be like 3 months. You'll forget all this, but they wait 10 minutes. They wait extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But anyway, come back. Audiovisual department.
I will.
They even sell classes in Madhuban of here. You can get back from years ago. I have stacks of classes. I love it. Stacks.
One meeting with Baba I will tell you. That was the very most important for me, for my progress. I was given the duty to prepare pictures, in museums, during those days for exhibitions, for spiritual fairs. I was getting prepared these pictures for the yajna. So once I got prepared for the first time, 20 oil paintings in Delhi, and brought to in 1965, I think, to show those to Baba. And I put that in that history hall, 20 pictures, and Baba and Didi came to go around and see that. And Baba was always happy, but he was feeling it is good, and he went to his that room, and he called me, you come in my room. I also went there, and I was going to sit on the floor, and Baba was sitting on the gaddi, that seat. Baba said, no, sit with me. Baba, I was hesitating how to sit with on Baba's gaddi. So he took me, and I was sitting on Baba's gaddi. Baba spoke some few versions. Baba said, Baba's gaddi, Baba's seat is children's seat. Here as well as there. Where? In Golden Age. This was the blessing, or this was the vardhan. After that, thousands and thousands of pictures, museums and exhibitions, and was prepared, and that did a great service in India. And first set of picture was also sent with Brother Jagdishi for foreign service also, in London also, from that small Chitrashala. So Baba gave this vardhan, which did a great service, and I was much intoxicated with that.
And I think that's a beautiful note to end on, that Baba has us sit on his seat. And he's and that we yes, and that we enable others to sit on Baba's seat. So I think this we had a lot of inspiration from our panel here, and thank you so much for being with us. Deeply appreciated. We enjoyed very much. And Om Shanti.
And just to let you know that from tomorrow onwards, everything will be in Pandav Bhavan. We'll have we're calling them a series of Sneh Milans, loving gatherings at 11 o'clock every day. So you'll get some fresh food from tomorrow.